गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। चिन्मयं व्यापि यत्सर्वं त्रैलोक्यं सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। भवानी शङ्करौ वन्दे श्रद्धा विश्वासरूपिणौ याभ्यां विना न पश्यन्ति सिद्धा स्वान्तस्थमीश्वरम्। हरि ओम। We'll have the Nama Smarana. नीलवर्णं नीलवर्णं निजरूपबोधं निजरूपबोधं अच्युतत्वं अच्युतत्वं संवित्स्वरूपं संवित्स्वरूपं नीलवर्णं निजरूपबोधं अच्युतत्वं संवित्स्वरूपं संवित्स्वरूपं परब्रह्मं परब्रह्मं वैकुण्ठनाथं वैकुण्ठनाथं गुणातीतं गुणातीतम् अव्यक्तमेकम् अव्यक्तमेकम् नीलवर्णं निजरूपबोधम् निजरूपबोधम् निर्विकल्पम् निर्विकल्पम् ओंकारवाच्यम् ओंकारवाच्यम् आनंदरूपम् आनंदरूपम् आद्यन्तशून्यम् आद्यन्तशून्यम् शिवं विशुद्धम् शिवं विशुद्धम् जगतजीवनम् जगतजीवनम् परब्रह्मम् वैकुण्ठनाथम् अच्युतत्वम् संवित्स्वरूपम् नीलवर्णम् नीलवर्णम् निजरूपबोधम् आनंदरूपम् आनंदरूपम् आद्यन्तशून्यम् आद्यन्तशून्यम् निर्विकल्पम् ओंकारवाच्यम् शिवं विशुद्धम् जगतजीवनम् नीलवर्णम् नीलवर्णम् निजरूपबोधम् 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 Slokas of invocation. चिदंशं विभुं निर्मलं निर्विकल्पं निरीहं निराकारं ओंकारवाच्यम् गुणातीतमव्यक्तम् एकं तुरीयम् परं ब्रह्मयं वेद तस्मै नमस्ते तस्मै नमस्ते विशुद्धं शिवं शान्तमाद्यन्तशून्यम् जगज्जीवनम् ज्योतिरानन्दरूपम् अदिग्देशकाल व्यवच्छेदनीयम् त्रयीवक्तियं वेद तस्मै नमस्ते तस्मै नमस्ते लपन्नच्युतानन्त गोविन्द विष्णो मुरारे हरे नाथ नारायणेति यथानुस्मरिष्यामि भक्त्या भवन्तम् तथा मे दयाशील देव प्रसीद तथा मे दयाशील देव प्रसीद देव प्रसीद Love is a state of oneness in our human relationships. When we deeply try to understand about love, it is a state of oneness with the other. Such a state that all other disparities, differences, distinctions are all dissolved. In a state of true love, where there is oneness with the other, in that state of oneness with the other, there can only be an expression of higher and diviner emotions and feelings. There is no room or there is no place for lower feelings and emotions, or in other words, for the negative feelings or the negative emotions. But in our human relationships, we come to see the manifestation of these lower emotions. Why? It is because what often passes for love in our relationships actually is attachment, dependency, and possessiveness. We say it is love, but instead of the true state of love, which is oneness, what actually happens is the attachment, dependency, and possessiveness. So, instead of genuine love, when there is this attachment, possessiveness, and dependency, they give rise to various other kinds of emotions and feelings which are connected with the lower level. And from that level of understanding, when we look at the feelings that are expressed, we come to understand that feelings are programs. Yesterday we have already seen about the learned programs. So feelings are programs, meaning they are learned responses and they have a purpose. And what is this purpose which the feelings have? The purpose is directly related to achieving an effect on other person's feelings. We entertain and express these kinds of feelings in our relationships because there is a purpose, and that purpose is directly related to achieving an effect on other person's feelings. So, and by doing so, we try to influence their feelings towards us. So, the purpose is to have a direct effect on the feelings of others. And what are we trying to do there? To influence their feelings towards ourselves. For what? To fulfill our own needs. So, in order to fulfill our needs, we try to influence the feelings of others by expressing certain kinds of feelings in ourselves. So, these feelings find an expression in us with a purpose to influence others' feelings. The end result is what? For our benefit. We have our needs to be fulfilled. So we want others to express certain feelings towards us in certain manner. So in order to make it happen, we try to manage the feelings of others by expressing these kinds of feelings which are connected with the lower level. Any kinds of feelings which are connected with the lower level are always oriented towards the fulfillment of selfish needs. So we have to fulfill our needs, so we try to manage others' feelings. And others do not know about this. And they also do the same thing with us and we don't know about that. And this game goes on. We have to fulfill our own inner goals. We have our own personal agendas. So in order to fulfill them, we express these feelings. So it is said that our emotions towards others involve the basic belief that we are incomplete. We are not complete, so we are incomplete within ourselves. So when we are having this belief that we are incomplete within ourselves and we make an attempt to make ourselves complete. How do we make ourselves complete? By trying to manipulate the feelings in others. Holding a sway over the feelings in others. Compelling them to express certain feelings. Forcing them to express certain feelings, not directly but indirectly. We create a situation where they cannot but express these feelings. And when they express those feelings, our needs are met. We feel satisfied. Because we depend on others for this satisfaction. We are not yet feeling that we are complete. When we reach a state where we feel that we are complete, only true love manifests through us. Peace manifests through us. Compassion manifests through us. Divinity manifests through us. Unconditional love manifests through us. And there are no needs to be fulfilled then. We are no more feeling incomplete. But right now, when we feel incomplete, then we want our needs to be fulfilled. And we think by making others meet our demands and express certain feelings towards us, for the time being we will think that we will become complete. But that will be only for a brief moment of time. After that we will again understand that we are still feeling incomplete. So, others are viewed as a means to an end. So that is why we try to utilize others. Utilizing other people for fulfilling our needs. This is what happens in human relationships. That is why we get stuck in certain feelings. In spite of others telling that they are lower, but still we get stuck there. Why? Because the needs have to be fulfilled. That is why we express certain emotions towards others. And the utilization of other person need not occur only on the level of actuality. It can occur on the level of fantasy and expectation also. Inside also we can have that we can fantasize, we can expect, and we can utilize other people in our fantasies also. So that is why it is said, much of what we experience in a relationship is happening only in our imagination. Most of it, whatever happens in our relationship, it is happening in our imagination. It is far from the actuality, far from the facts and truths. But we believe in them. So that is why we remain connected with this lower level of expressions. So we try to take up few things today and try to understand about them. In relationships, the negative feelings that are there, when we take a close look at them, the purpose that is there connected with this lower level of emotions, then we may, by our understanding, try to go beyond them and rise above them, by which we can make our lives filled with peace, more pure love, and easy way of living. Most negative feelings are connected with hatred, malice, which means ill will, anger, rage, revenge, and violence. Whenever our feelings are connected with violence, rage, revenge, malice, anger, hatred, it is negative, most negative. And what is the underlying fantasy here? The underlying fantasy here is to eliminate, to banish, to destroy, to kill, to injure, to hurt, to frighten, and to intimidate the other. In our human relationships, we see this. We come across these things. Either directly we come to experience this, or in our presence we see these things are happening. People try to intimidate others, hurt others, frighten others. And we see in our society, there are certain people who are trying to destroy others, harm others, kill others, injure others, eliminate others, banish others. And most of the news that is there being covered is related to these things only. This is highlighted. And the other things are not highlighted, where great love was expressed upon others and with a lot of compassion and with great service attitude, that is not expressed. What is highlighted is only these things. And when such feelings are expressed through an individual, and when we express such feelings, or an individual expresses such feelings, the other person also, as a return, as a response, expresses the similar feelings. When we fantasize negative feelings towards others, even when we don't express them actually, we are fantasizing about them in our mind. They will influence others' minds towards whom these feelings we are directing, towards whom these feelings are directed. Others' minds are influenced and they start avoiding us, and they start counter-attacking us. Even when we entertain these types of feelings inside our mind, without actually expressing them also, others will start avoiding us because they are influencing the others towards whom we are directing these feelings, and they try to counter-attack us. The end result will be more disturbance, more peacelessness, and more negativity. And all these are connected with anger. If a broad emotion has to be connected with these things, so there is anger, which involves all of them. Then, lesser forms of anger are criticism, criticalness, resentment, sulking, meaning not responding properly because of resentment or bad temper. Being morose, gloomy, moody, all are connected with sulking. Stewing, meaning boiling inside. And negative judgments about others. Constantly having or entertaining negative judgments about others. as if we have been appointed as a judge there and paid for these judgments. Continuously negative judgments about others. These are all lesser forms of anger. And what is the purpose here? The emotional purpose here is to punish others, to make others feel sorry, to try to change the feelings in others, to try to bring about a change in the behavior of the others, to make them suffer, to get even with them, to diminish them, and to devalue them. Please understand this. Whenever we see people are criticizing others, these are lesser forms of anger, no doubt, but still negative, trying to criticize others. And there is so much of sulking and stewing and negative judgments. So the purpose is very clear here, the emotional purpose. Others have to suffer. Others are diminished, devalued. Most commonly when we see people are publicly expressing these things about others, especially in political circles. Political minds, wherever they are like that only, but constantly diminishing others, devaluing others. It can happen in families also. It can happen in close relationships also. Whenever somebody is trying to criticize the other, if we take a close look inside, this will be the purpose. Outside them, I don't have any purpose. My purpose is only your improvement. What your improvement? That can be brought about in a different manner. Not by sulking and stewing and negative judgments. So to diminish the other, to devalue the other, make them suffer, and then bring about a change. And what happens? It results in counter criticism, counter resentment, and avoidance. This is what happens in relationships. So that is why it is said, we are only accountable for what we do with our feelings. If we don't take proper care of these feelings, expressions of these feelings, if we really want to bring about a change, through love we can bring about, through peace we can bring about, through selflessness we can bring about, through non-violence we can bring about. There is no need for violent expressions. In fact, one who is in love and in true peace and in non-violence, by their very presence, changes start happening. And in expressing these negative feelings, we fail to understand that they take an enormous toll on ourselves. They have very bad effect upon various layers of our personality. And the only way to get out of them is to surrender them and to let go of them. When others are in anger, we do recognize that they are in anger. When others are upset, we can recognize that they are upset by looking at the expression in others. And sometimes when there is no expression also, the energy level in the other will start influencing us. By that very contact and influence, we come to know that others are angry and upset. Whatever attitudes we hold in our mind towards the other people, we hold in our mind only towards the other people, they start influencing others' minds. That is why it is said in our scriptures by the great masters that our attitudes are very important. By having a particular attitude, we create an influence upon the other's minds. If our attitude is pure, sincere, genuine, diviner, higher, refined, noble, automatically others will respond accordingly. So it is said that we influence other person's feelings and attitudes about us even when we entertain or fantasize certain negative feelings towards others. Our feelings and thoughts always have an effect on the other people, and they affect our relationships. Whether these thoughts and feelings are verbalized, are expressed, or merely fantasized. There is no need to verbalize, there is no need to express. If we entertain them inside, they will start influencing others. And then we start experiencing more resentment, more anger, more hatred, more negativity. And then we start thinking at that point of time that they are the cause for this experience. But actually we are only accountable for all these feelings. We are consciously and unconsciously influencing others all the time. Unconsciously also we influence others because of the feelings we hold in our mind about them. What the other person does generally is mirrors back what we are projecting onto them. What a mirror does? A mirror does not have its own intent there. It only mirrors. Whatever we are, it mirrors. Similarly, in human relationships, in connection with the level of feelings, whatever feelings we hold about others, they mirror these feelings back to us. That is why when an individual is constantly expressing negativity towards others, others are influenced and they also unconsciously express this, and where is the peace then? When we change our inner attitude about others, their attitude also changes. That is why positive feelings, higher feelings, and diviner feelings and emotions are very important, and they play a very important role in bringing about a change in our levels of peace and happiness and in other levels of peace and happiness also. That is why in the presence of the great evolved masters, we start experiencing some comfort, peace. We start feeling influenced by their love. They are not making any direct attempt, but the very presence itself, we start experiencing these things. We start getting influenced by these things. All our anger and resentment are mainly due to our perception, the way in which we are viewing a given situation. As we have already seen yesterday, that our perceptions, we think they are real, but our perceptions also are conditioned by the programming. That programs are there inside. Because of that, the perceptions are in this manner. And because of that, the understanding is like that. And because of that, the experiences are like that. And when it is in the level of our experience, and we think that is real, because what we perceived is real, so what we are experiencing also is real. And we get stuck there. So in order to bring about a change, we need to bring about a change in our attitudes only. So when the inner feelings which are negative are relinquished, are surrendered, then the way in which we view a given situation also changes. Till then it will not change. As long as we hold on to the negative feelings, the way in which we view the given situation will not change. And we continue to think it is real. We continue to justify. We continue to defend ourselves even when others try to tell us out of their love and concern. So, when we relinquish these feelings, when we surrender these negative feelings, the way in which we look at a given situation changes, and then the feelings of forgiveness arise. Once the feelings of forgiveness arise in a relationship, the relationship becomes transformed. Unless the feelings of forgiveness arise in a relationship, major change will not happen. One person was telling his friend that because of some problem he had, he consulted a psychiatrist, and he was telling about the benefits. He said, the psychiatrist helped me a lot. Earlier, I would never answer the phone because I was afraid. He had some psychic problem connected with phones. He would never answer the phone because he was afraid. So he was telling this to his friend. Earlier, I would never answer the phone because I was afraid. Now I answer it whether it rings or not. Now what help he made, we don't know. So another type of conditioning now. Earlier one conditioning, now another conditioning. There also he was stuck, here also he is stuck. There he was afraid of answering, here he answers even when it doesn't ring also. Now whom he is answering? We don't know. So like that, when there are certain programs inside the mind, we remain stuck there. We can't understand what exactly is the situation. A given situation is not clearly understood as it is. There was one person who went to a medical shop and then purchased a cream according to medical prescription. And then he went back the next day and then says, please take it back. There that person asked in the medical shop, why are you giving it back like this? See, it is mentioned here, apply locally 2 times a day. Apply locally 2 times a day. I cannot do that because I am going overseas. The understanding is not clear. The given situation is not understood properly. The instruction is different. It means something different. It doesn't have any connection with whether you are staying here or going overseas. But this type of thinking will not make the individual mind clear to understand the given situation as it is. There was another person who bought another medicine and then came back after some time, after reading all the things that are related to that medicine, whatever instructions are there and whatever side effects are there, all that the person read and came back and said, it is mentioned here that there are 40 side effects. When an individual takes this medicine, there are 40 side effects. Why there are 40 side effects? He asked that medical shop owner. And that person said, as of now, that is all had been documented. Till now, whatever is documented is 40 side effects. Tomorrow it can be 50, 60, 80, 100. We don't know. We try to take a medicine, but there are side effects. But here in the expression of negative feelings, there are only negative effects. There is no positive benefit only. Because the mind is already programmed and conditioned, the way in which we look at others and given situation also is like that. And when we experience certain emotions as a counter attack, as a response, as a reaction, and we come to consider them as real, and then we react more. There was one situation where one person was discussing with the another, and he said, see, now you have to tell me, in this given situation, how these people respond. There is only one parachute, and there are two people on a malfunctioning aeroplane. And you are also there as an observer on a malfunctioning aeroplane. One is a pessimist, another one is an optimist. How do you think they respond in this situation? There is only one parachute. And he said, a pessimist will refuse the parachute because he might die on the jump anyway. A pessimist will have this thought, if I jump I will die, so he will refuse the parachute. And he said, an optimist also will refuse the parachute because he thinks there are people who survive these crashes. People who survive crashes, so why should I take a parachute and jump? No, I will like that. So the idea is, when we view the world according to our limitations, we think that alone is correct. And whatever experiences we are going to have, whatever results we are going to experience, all are connected with that way of viewing the world only. And as long as we don't come out of that viewpoint, we continue to feel that that alone is real. So only when we understand that these negative feelings have to be surrendered, have to be relinquished, then we can implement that and try to come out of it, and then we start seeing the world in a different way. Then we come to experience forgiveness, we come to experience gratitude, we come to experience kindness, love, all these things, love, kindness, gratitude, forgiveness, they all have higher energy patterns in them, higher energy forms in them. So when we express these feelings, others also will feel energized, will feel very nice. When we have negative feelings, they are anyway depleting all the energy in us, and when we express the negative feelings towards others also, they also feel that their energy levels are going down. So we need to surrender these negative feelings. When we express love for others, our anger towards them also gets subdued, and finally it vanishes, and the anger that is there in others also, they will be able to set aside that anger because of our love that is expressed towards them. One boy was telling to his friend, my grandfather fell into the well last evening and was screaming for help. He fell into the well and he was screaming for help. And then his friend asked, how is he now? And this boy says, he must be fine because he stopped screaming. Last evening he fell in the well, he stopped screaming, he must be fine. We are also are in the wells of negativities. And sometimes we scream, sometimes we are not screaming. That doesn't mean we are fine. When we are not screaming, it doesn't mean we are fine. For the people who are constantly affected by our screaming, there might be some relief. But it is not a real relief of peace. It is a relief between two different situations of screaming. So unless we surrender them, we will not be able to get out of it. There are people who are stuck in various kinds of feelings like that. And there was a discussion between two friends, and one person was telling the other, because in certain cultures they have their own peculiar mannerisms and behaviors. So he was telling the other, I am very stingy person, that is what people tell me, and I try to save in every possible manner. I try to save in every possible manner. You know what I did? I tried to save and pinch pennies even for my honeymoon. I went alone for my honeymoon by saving the travel fare of my wife. The other person said, this is nothing. I have a friend in Europe. What that fellow did, you know, he is much more stingier than you. He came to know during the time of his honeymoon, when they were planning for his honeymoon, that his friend is going out on a tour. So he sent his wife along with him. Any type of negative feeling, when we get stuck there, thereafterwards, it is very difficult to come out. Unless and until we come to understand that there is a way, there is a method of dealing with them by surrendering them. By surrendering them, by leaving them at the feet of divinity and offering a prayer at the feet of the divinity to take care of these feelings. It's a very, very nice way of surrendering. After observing the anger, we will try to look into the apathy and grief. The feelings of apathy, grief, sorrow, depression, self-pity, hopelessness, helplessness, all these things come from an inner program, I cannot. That is the inner program. I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't be like this, I can't be like that, I can't manage this, I can't manage that, I cannot handle this, I cannot handle that. The program is I cannot, I can't. That is the program. They are stuck in that program, I can't. Whatever the given situation demands, I can't. And it is your duty, I can't. It is your responsibility, I can't. And you are answerable, I cannot. So that is I can't, that is the program there, I can't. So because they are stuck in that, there is hopelessness, there is helplessness, there is a depression, there is sorrow. By remaining stuck in that program, I can't, they cannot come out of these things. They will continue to remain there. And by remaining there, the emotional purpose there is to elicit sympathy, to gain some support from the other, to make others feel sorry, to extract some help from the other. That is how they remain stuck in that state. And what happens as a counter response from the others? They may show pity or they may avoid, because constantly when an individual is in grief, it will drive others away. Constantly. In spite of efforts from the others, still that individual continues to remain in grief. Common individuals normally, they are driven away. They begin to resent it unless they are very highly evolved and they are in the greatest compassionate levels. unless they are capable of effortless compassion. Only very few individuals are capable of that effortless compassion. With effort compassion also we can manage. But generally what happens when there is sorrow, when there is hopelessness, when there is helplessness, when there is self-pity, grief constantly, it drives people away. So what has to be done? In the path of surrender, the procedure is we need to have courage inside ourselves to allow these feelings to come up. And we remain conscious of these feelings which are coming up, all these feelings of apathy, grief, sorrow, depression, self-pity, hopelessness, helplessness, when they are coming up, we should allow them to come up. Courage to handle our feelings. And when we allow them to come up in appropriate conditions, and then once they start coming up, we need to have the willingness to surrender them and allow them to pass by without involving in them, without identifying with them, without expressing them, without considering them that they are most important in that given moment and they are real. We should allow them to pass by and we should surrender them. So this is the best way to handle apathy and grief in human relationships. Whenever we are experiencing these things or whenever others are experiencing these things, we can help ourselves and help others by trying to educate others to surrender and by trying to educate ourselves and practice surrender. The willingness to surrender them and allow them to pass by. The next one is fear. The feelings of fear, whether tension and anxiety or shyness or holding back, or sometimes we are over self-conscious, too much of caution in ourselves, distrust, we distrust others because of fear. Fear takes all these forms. And what it makes us do is, the emotional purpose here is escape from the imagined threat and to keep a psychological distance from the feared situation or the person. We entertain fear because we project, because we are programmed. And then we try to avoid that person, we try to keep a psychological distance from the feared situation or the person because there is a threat, there is an imagined threat. And this fear is so powerful that the very process of holding fear in our mind can make that which is feared the most happen actually, manifest actually. That is why this negative emotion of fear is so powerful, and we hold on to it and we are constantly holding on to it. Whatever we are thinking that it might happen because of our imaginary threat that we entertain inside, it can actually happen also. Not because of anything, but only because of we holding on to this negative thing called as the fear. The energy of this fear, the negative energy of this fear, makes that inside of us to constantly focus on the negative things only. When we are in fear, we constantly focus on negative things only, and there is always this imaginary threat. This might happen, that might happen, this could happen, that could happen. And what happens? Finally, that only happens. The appearance of the very events which we fear happens because of we holding on to that. And whenever there is fear that is entertained inside, the person feels insecurity. Insecurity in relationships. When I have a fear in relationships, I feel insecure. And because of this insecurity, the individual is prone to jealousy, clinging, possessiveness and attachment, which certainly lead to frustration in relationships. It leads to frustration. And the purpose of these feelings, whether it is jealousy, clinging, possessiveness, attachment, or even expressing frustration, the purpose is to bind the other, to possess the other, and to achieve the security by preventing the loss, imaginary loss. The imaginary fear is associated with the imaginary loss. So we are trying to prevent that loss. And in order to prevent that loss, we are trying to bind the other, we are trying to possess the other. And by binding the other, by possessing the other, by thinking that we are avoiding the imaginary loss, we are trying to achieve security. This individual thinks that he is feeling secured now by binding the other, by possessing the other, by restricting the other, confining the other, and by thinking that the imaginary loss is avoided. And these attitudes bring more negativity into our life, into our mind. Our mind becomes more and more pressurized by the negative energy of dependency and possessiveness. And when we entertain such feelings and express such emotions towards others, such feelings towards others, others start running away from us. They want to withdraw from us. They want to detach from us. They want to get away from our presence. Why? Because we are trying to bind the other, possess the other, restrict the other. To feel secured, to get out of that imaginary loss, we are trying to express more negativity because of the fear that we have. And it makes the other person also run away from us. So the fear of loss, which is imagined, will now become real. Because the other person cannot stand the negative energy that is expressed from us because of our fear. Because whatever energy is there inside us, it touches the other person, makes the other person move away. Because people, even when they are not truly intuitive, they pick up our wish to control them. And common response is to resist that control. We also do the same when others try to control us. The first thing that happens inside us is resist that control. Why the other person is trying to control? Fear of insecurity, fear of loss, because the fear is there inside. Because of that there are so many other things. Because of that there is jealousy also. Because of that there is intolerance also. Because of that they try to harm others also. When somebody is happy, these people, what they think, that somebody should be happy only with them in their presence. If you are happy without my presence, how can you be happy like that? You should be happy only in my presence, only with me, only in connection with me. And I am anyway not making you happy, not allowing you to be happy because I am expressing all negative fear. How can you be happy? But if you are finding some happiness because of others' love or compassion or help or assistance or consolence, whatever it is, I am not able to tolerate that. I become more and more jealous. And then out of that, more negative reactions come out. So what is the way out? Again here also, the only way is to bring about relinquishment of all these things which are there inside. We can make others also avoid running away from us and remain in close proximity with us when we surrender this fear. Then when we surrender that, all the negative energy vanishes along with it. And whenever the inner fears are coming up, we should allow them to come up and remain conscious and observe them and remember our divine connection with the God and place these fears that are coming up at the feet of the God. Then they are handled by the divinity only, because the same divinity is inside us also, deep inside this mind. as a substratum or the basis of this mind, it is there outside also. Yesterday we saw the meaning of Vibhu, meaning one who shines inside also, one who shines outside also. So we have to surrender the fear. Next we move on to the pride. The emotional purpose of the feelings that are connected with the pride is to win the admiration of others, to avoid rejection by others, to avoid criticism of others, to gain acceptance of others, to become important. And thereby, why we are trying to do all these things, why an individual tries to do all these things? To win admiration of others, to avoid criticism of others, to avoid rejection of others, to gain acceptance of others, to be important in presence of others, in order to overcome one's own inner feelings of worthlessness. If inside I have a feeling that I am worthless, I try to do these things. The feelings of pride take various forms. Sometimes of perfectionism. One tries to tell always others, I am perfect, you have to be perfect. And as long as we are living under the realm of mind, intellect, memory and ego, there cannot be perfection. Total perfection can never be there because they themselves are imperfect. Perfection is there only at the level of the divinity. So, this feeling of pride takes these forms. Excessive ambition, feeling of superiority over others, show of politeness, not real, but show of politeness. And also it can take other forms like arrogance. I become very arrogant. Boastfulness. They only talk about themselves. On the stage they may teach everything is God, all is because of God, but afterwards they will start telling, I only did this, because of me only it happened. You know I am great, you know why? So boastfulness, vanity and prejudice and trying to harm the non-believers. The pride goes to such an excessive state sometimes that I believe in one set of philosophy. If you don't believe in that, I will try to harm you. If possible, I will try to finish you. Don't we see such sects in the world? We see. They believe in certain things and they want everybody to believe what they believe. And if you don't believe, you are not fit to live in this world. I will see to it that either you believe it or you are finished. That is excessive form of pride. All this pride is because we want more attention from the other, more acceptance of the other. Others should start feeling that we are more important and we want their admiration. All this is because we want others to like us. But the truth is, when we drop this thought that others should like us, we suddenly find that they start liking us. Because the pride vanishes and then positivity start manifesting and they automatically start liking us. Because we are not trying to manipulate them. They start feeling comfortable in our presence. We start valuing their presence. They start valuing our presence. We respect them, they start respecting us. So, whenever we feel insecure, we inflate the pride. And this inflated pride is susceptible to puncture. A passing expression, maybe a raised eyebrow from the other also punctures this pride. That is why it is said, we need to remember that all these negative feelings are not our real self. All these negative feelings are not at all connected with our real, true inner self. All these negative feelings are learned programs. Even the evolved people, in their past, they went through these learned programs. Even few of these enlightened people now, in their past, distant past, they had lived through these things. They had an ego at one time or other. But how could they transcend that? By surrendering. As we surrender the feeling, what happens here? According to this mechanism of surrender, as we surrender these negative feelings, whatever negative feelings we try to analyze till now in the human relationships, as we try to surrender the negative feeling, when we surrender it, automatically it is replaced by a higher feeling. That happens automatically. When we surrender the lower feeling, the higher feeling replaces it. So that is the reason why, in order to surrender this lower feeling, the first thing is we should recognize that feeling and we should admit that the feeling is there inside us, so that we can surrender it, so that we can relinquish it. And to be in the state of surrender here means that we are willing to relinquish a feeling by allowing that feeling to come up in us and by allowing ourselves to experience that feeling and not making any attempt to change that feeling, not making any attempt to resist that feeling. Allow it to come up. Recognize that feeling. When it comes up, observe every thought that is connected with it, every sensation that is connected with it, every egoistic satisfaction that is connected with it, and then surrender it. Then only it can be surrendered. Then only it can be relinquished. So in order to make it happen, we should allow it to come up. Not upon others, but in our mind. But in a proper condition, meaning we should be prepared to allow it to come up. When we relinquish these negative feelings, they are automatically replaced by the higher feelings, and we automatically start experiencing happiness, feeling lighter, experiencing more peace, feeling good love for others. Automatically these things start happening. One person said to the other, I have conducted a lot of workshops on the secret of happy marriage, and I would like to be very open. The secret of happy marriage remains a secret. It seems he conducted many workshops for many years, but the secret of happy marriage remains a secret. And there was a discussion about the marriage where another person said, a man's wife has more power over him than the government. Normally people think the government has more power because they make laws, amend laws and everything. That man's wife has more power. Another person said in that forum, by talking about who is the best husband, he said, an archaeologist is the best husband a woman can have. Archaeologist. Others asked why. He said, the older she gets, the more interested he is in her. Archaeologist is interested in our older things. So the older she gets, he is more interested. And another person said, the trouble with some women is they get all excited about the person whom they are going to get married, and then afterwards when they surface the reality, when they see the reality, all the excitement goes down. And they think the cause is that man. But the truth is, they get excited when there is nothing in the other person. There is nothing in the other person, they get excited, and afterwards they get disappointed. And they think that the cause of disappointment is the other person. But they only are the cause. Like the same thing is with the men also. So when we get all excited, even when there is nothing there, that excitement will make us believe and imagine that there is something that is going to happen which will be heavenly, but nothing happens afterwards. So another member in that discussion said, I have never married because I have 3 pets at home that answer the same purpose as a husband. I have a dog that growls every morning. I have a parrot that swears all afternoon. I have a cat that comes home late. So husband also does these things. So why should I when I have these pets? In human relationships, when there is that negativity, there is no room and scope for real peace and joy in that relationships. That is why when we surrender, then only we can allow the higher feelings to enter into us and then take over, and then there will be more joy in the relationships. And in this discussion, another person said, marriage is a give and take. You better give it to her, otherwise she will anyway take these things. At least you will get the credit that you have given it, and then you can expect the other person to be more grateful to you. So in this give and take, be ready to give first. And one person said, there are some people who say that their wives cannot take a joke, and they complain in that forum. My wife, when I tell a joke, she doesn't laugh. So she can't take a joke. Maybe this fellow is repeating the same joke again and again, and wants other person to laugh every time. Like that, there are these repetitions that go on. That is why some people in the family, once they start talking, they run away, because they know the same thing repeats again and again. But sometimes these people who repeat, they don't have that remembrance, so they keep repeating. So this man said, probably shared with others, my wife, she can't take a joke. And then another person told him, you are forgetting, she took you. That itself is a joke. So why are you thinking she can't take a joke? So when we look at all these negative feelings, starting with anger, grief, apathy, pride, and various other forms of these negative expressions, all of them have to be surrendered. Surrender to whom? The one who is absolutely pure. Only the one who is absolutely pure can take these things and make them vanish from us. Vishuddham Shivam Shantamadhyanta Shunyam Jagadjivanam Jyotirananda Rupam Adigdesha Kala Vyavachhedaniyam Trahi Vaktiyam Veda Tasmai Namaste Trahi Vaktiyam Veda Tasmai Namaste Vishuddham Shivam Shantam Vishuddham Shivam Shantam Adyanta Shunyam Adyanta Shunyam Jagadjivanam Jagadjivanam Jyotirananda Rupam Jyotirananda Rupam Adigdesha Kala Adigdesha Kala व्यवच्छेदनीयं व्यवच्छेदनीयं त्रयीवक्तियं वेद त्रयीवक्तियं वेद तस्मै नमस्ते तस्मै नमस्ते त्रयी vakti yam veda. Here trayi means the three Vedas taken collectively, the Rig Veda, Yajur Veda and Sama Veda. All the three Vedas are glorifying the same Bhagavan Vishnu, the one who is glorified by these Vedas. To that Bhagavan we are offering our salutations. Trayi vakti yam veda tasmai namaste. He, meaning the Bhagavan, who is being spoken of or addressed by the Vedas as whatever qualities we are going to see now, to such a divine being, to such a divine Vishnu, we offer our salutations. How are these Vedas addressing him, referring to him? Vishuddham Shivam Shantam Adyanta Shunyam. Vishuddham. Vishuddham meaning the one who is pure, the one who is clean, the one who is free from vice, sin or imperfection. There are no imperfections in the one who is Vishuddham. The one who is stainless, the one who is spotless, the one who is correct, the one who is accurate, the one who is virtuous, the one who is straightforward. All these are connected with Vishuddham. So, whenever we talk about purity, we have to become pure, we need to have purity. That means what? Straightforwardness, virtue, accuracy, correctness, spotlessness, stainlessness, imperfectionlessness, vicelessness, sinlessness. So all these impurities have to be overcome. So Vishuddham, Vishuddham Shivam. Naturally, that which is Vishuddham will also be Shivam. So Shivam here means he who is happiness. He himself is happiness. He who is bliss and auspiciousness. He is called as Shivam. The deepest meaning of Shivam is he who is bliss and auspiciousness. That comes only when there is purity, that absolute purity. Vishuddham Shivam Shantam. Shantam. Bhagavan Vishnu is Shantam. That is why Shantakaram, Shantam, meaning tranquil, calm, quiet, composed, still. So whatever we try to gain in meditation, the calmness, the compose, the tranquility, the stillness, he is of that tranquility. So if we contemplate upon Vishnu, automatically we will get all these things. And Shantam also means indifferent to all worldly enjoyments. Because there is that happiness as one's own nature. So where is the need to depend upon them? So there is indifference to all worldly enjoyments which are ridden with pain and fear. And Shantam also means he is with easiness, restfulness and repose. So that easiness is there, that restfulness is there. So when we surrender to Bhagavan Vishnu, the restfulness that is there in him, that higher divine restfulness will happen to us also. That easiness that is there in him, that will happen to us also. That calmness that is there in him, that will descend into us also. When we offer our negativities, the divinity starts happening inside us. The higher feeling starts replacing these negativities, replacing these lower feelings. Because when we surrender them to a divine being, those things that are there in that divine being, they will start replacing these negative feelings that are there inside us. And then we might think, oh, poor Bhagavan, all our negative feelings he will take. What will happen to him? I will pity him. I will feel sorry for him. And maybe afterwards life becomes unbearable for him. Nothing like that. That is why it is said here. Adyanta shunyam. See, he is without the beginning and he is without the end. Adi anta shunyam. Without the beginning, without the end. And whatever we are trying to offer it to him, they will automatically be shunyam. They will never be in him. They will just vanish. Vishuddham Shivam Shantam Adyanta Shunyam Jagat Jivanam Jyotirananda Rupam. Jagat Jivanam. He enlivens the whole world. He is that enlivening principle. Because of him, everything comes alive. Because of him, there is liveliness. So when we surrender negativity unto him, our dullness vanishes, our lethargy vanishes, our hopelessness vanishes, and then we suddenly become filled with liveliness. Why? Because it replaces. But as long as we don't surrender, it will not replace. We have to surrender them to replace. Whatever is there in us, we surrender. Whatever is there in him, it will replace. Jyotirananda Rupam. Jyotihi. He is that illumining principle. He is that light. He is that light of Brahman. And that is connected with Ananda Rupam. Jyotihi Ananda Rupam. He is of the form of blissfulness, joyfulness, delight, happiness. That happiness, the joy, the delight, that blissfulness which is there put together is called as Supreme Bliss Divine. He is that Supreme Bliss Divine. So when we surrender, our sorrow, our misery, our sadness, our depression, everything will be surrendered. They will get replaced by joy, happiness, delight, bliss. We need not do anything else in order to experience these things. All that we need to do is we have to surrender. Surrender the negativity only. But to surrender the negativity, we need that courage to allow them to surface, and we need that trust in that Bhagavan will take them away. And then when we surrender, actually he takes all of them away, and then whatever belongs to him, all that beautiful qualities which we are seeing now, all of them, including that light, including that splendor, including that lustre, including that brilliance, along with that happiness, joy, delight, bliss, all will start happening inside us. Adigdesha kala vyavachhedaniyam. Adigdesha kala vyavachhedaniyam. He who cannot be divided or separated by directions, space and time. Rest all in this creation is divided by, separated by time, space, objectivity. So we are separated by directions, we are separated by space, we are separated by time. Because of these divisions, because of this fragmentation, we are not able to feel that oneness. But he is beyond all these limitations. So then, whatever we are undergoing due to these negativities in this particular place, due to that particular situation, because of this particular object, because of that particular person, because of our own temperament inside, our own identification with the negativities inside, all will stop affecting us, because his divine level of being unaffected by the direction, space and time also will start blessing us, also will start happening inside us. we will also come to experience that bliss which is unaffected by the time, space and objectivity. All by surrendering unto Him. To make this surrender more realistic, Lapannachyutananta Govinda Vishnu Murare Hare Natha Narayaneti Yadhanusmarishyami Bhaktya Bhavantam Tadha me Dayasila Deva Prasida Tadha me Dayasila Deva Prasida Lapannachyutananta Govinda Vishnu Murare Hare Natha Narayaneti Lapannachyutananta Govinda Vishnu Govinda Vishnu Murare Hare Natha Murare Hare Natha Narayaneti Narayaneti Yadhanusmarishyami Yadhanusmarishyami Bhaktya Bhavantam Bhaktya Bhavantam Tadha me Dayasila Tadha me Dayasila Deva Prasida Deva Prasida. O God of compassion, O Dayashila, O Bhagavan, O God of compassion, me prasida, O Deva Dayashila, me prasida, kindly bless me that I always think of you. Please bless me, O God of compassion, please bless me. What is this blessing that we are seeking from God? Because in order to surrender, because in order to have trust in Him, because in order to have that positive courage in us to allow that feelings to surface and then yet remain not affected by them, yet have that trust and then the divinity to surrender them, we are trying to ask Him only to help us to make it happen. Only He can make it happen. Lapannachyutananta Govinda Vishnu. Lapati, lapanam means to speak, to talk, to call out loudly. So, we are trying to request Him, plead before Him, seek His grace and blessings so that He can make us call out His name again and again. This also is connected with smarana, so then we have to link it up with the thinking also. So, we are requesting God, O God of compassion, kindly bless me that Yadhanu smarishyami bhaktya bhavantam. I always think of you with devotion. I always think of you with devotion. But the devotion is necessary. So I always think of you with devotion. Bless me like that. How? As Achyuta, Lapannachyutananta Govinda Vishnu Murare Hare Natha Narayaneti. I beg of you, I pray for your grace that you make me always think of you in devotion. You make me always think of you in devotion. How? Achyuta. He is never touched by any impurity, never touched by anything other than divinity. That is why Achyuta. Na Achyuta iti Achyutaha. We have seen all these descriptions of names in Vishnu Sahasranamam, so I am not going to elaborate these things. If you are interested, please look into that Vishnu Sahasranamam. So, He is untouched by these impurities. So if we also call out his name, Achyuta, all the negative impurities which are there, we will also not be touched by them. Ananta, infinite, permanent, brokenless, divisionless, obstructionless, continuation or permanency. So we will also come to experience that. Govinda, Vishnu, Murare, Hare, Natha, Narayana. So, like this, we are requesting God to make us remember Him. Smaranam here, Yadhanu Smarishyami, Bhaktya Bhavantam. Smaranam here means thinking about God, remembering God. Or it also means here mental recitation of the divine name. So doing the japa. So we are requesting the God to help us to do his japa. So that when we do that japa, we become pure. Because his energy will start descending into us, his power will start descending into us, our powerlessness will start getting replaced, our negativities will start getting transferred, his divinity and positivity will start happening inside us. Anusmarishyami means continuous mental recitation can happen only by his grace. If he can take the sankalpa, then it can happen in our lives. So, we are requesting the compassionate God to shower the grace upon us. What is the grace that we are seeking here? Grace in the form of making us continuously remember Him and think of Him in these lines. And this is the process which I have to set in. If we start doing this, then we get the courage to surrender. And once we surrender, none of these things will have a sway over us because they will not be there anymore inside us. Constantly, continuously we have to surrender. And then Bhagavan will bless us with all divine feelings. Thereafterwards, our experiences will be different, understanding is different, outlook is different. So that is why Sharanagati, the path of surrender, is the best way to overcome all these negativities. Now we will have the concluding prayers. Yada varnayat karna mulenta kale Yada varnayat karna mulenta kale Shivo Rama Rameti Rameti Kashyam Shivo Rama Rameti Rameti Kashyam Tadekam Param Taraka Brahma Rupam Bhajeham 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 Namah Satchidananda Rupaya Tasmai Namo Deva Devaya Ramaya Tubhyam Namo Janaki Jiviteshaya Tubhyam Namah Pundarikayata Akshaya Tubhyam Sada Rama Rameti Namamrutam Te Sada Rama Mananda Nishyanda Kandam Pibantam Namantam Sudantam Hasantam Hanumantamantar भजेतं नितान्तं पिबन्तं नमन्तं सुदन्तं हसन्तं हनुमन्तमन्तर् भजेतं नितान्तं भजेतं नितान्तं प्रसीद प्रसीद प्रचण्ड प्रताप प्रसीद प्रसीद प्रचण्डारिकाल प्रसीद प्रसीद प्रसन्नानुकम्पिन् प्रसन्नानुकम्पिन् प्रसीद प्रसीद प्रभो रामचन्द्र प्रसीद प्रसीद प्रभो रामचन्द्र प्रभो रामचन्द्र सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतंगमय ओम शांति 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 हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम।